into this interview with Angela Stanton. Shout out to her, man. Dope female. She is a black female who I would consider that falls under the category of black excellence. She's dope. Um she's just dope. Let's get into it.
This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.
Why you didn't ask Donald Trump for our reparations, Queen?
Why y'all ain't asked Joe Biden and Kamala for reparations?
Some of us can be a lot closed-minded. We're diehard Democrats. We won't associate with the Republican Party.
But we need to understand that while we are fighting to reunite families at the border, we need to reunite the families in the border, our own families.
What's your thoughts for both Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.?
I want every Planned Parenthood across the nation closed down.
How can we fix that area where, they're going to have these babies like without men with them?
Supporting black women is create organizations like the one I created, Auntie Angie's House, right?
What if a woman really just doesn't feel like she's ready to have a child?
Close your legs, suck dick, swallow.
I know you're literally fighting.
Yo, this is why I fuck with her, bro. I love her, bro. She dope as hell. She just keep it real, and that's all I care about. Just keeping it real, bro. She keeps it very,
very hard battle because
it's more than abortion. Like during the DNC, they took a whole Hot Wheels abortion bus to Chicago and was performing live abortions on site.
How do you think?
Now, mind you, we're going to get into it, but I just want to, not even a spoiler, but she just said that. And I just want to talk about that real quick because a lot of people don't know that. Like, believe it or not, even though they literally said it, they actually showed it. They literally showed it. They had a big ass balloon penis, and like, bro, these people are weird. They're demons, bro. They're demonic. It's satanic, bro. Seriously, like they literally were giving out abortions at the DNC, bro. How demonic can you get? Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about? And a lot of people, when I say that, they be like, word. Like, even her, the host, she was like, for real, like she didn't know. Because we don't, like, bro, people just don't be in tune at all.
I think she would have turned out as a president if she would have got into the office instead of Trump.
Man, I think we would have lost a whole generation.
Everyone's talking about my new talk show, Live with Carisha. We shoot live on Thursdays in Atlanta. It's amazing. What are you waiting for? Tap in.
So welcome to the Live with Carisha show, Queen. Before we get into the nitty gritty, because we're going to get into the nitty gritty.
Oh, I thought it was, I got to change that. I said Carisha. It's Carisha. That's my bad.
What would you say is the number one threat to the black community?
Politics.
Oh, okay. Dive in, explain.
I mean, because we need to be people over party. I think a lot of us are divided because we want to choose a party and we become party over people. Yeah. It's time for us to break away from Republican side, Democrat side altogether. We need to be independent in our thinking, and we need to vote for and put people in position that have receipts and have shown us that they're willing to invest in our community. So we all need to be people over party.
Yo, I said this. I've said this. I had a whole segment on people being slaves to the party, bro. And I totally agree with that 1,000%. And that's what's fucking shit up, period. In the black community too, but in America in general, is that everybody is on this whole Democrat, Republican thing, when it should just be America first. And, the party, it should just be based on who is best. Because if a Democrat comes along, this is a fact. If a Democrat comes along and they align with my morals, my principles, my standards as a man, then I'm going to vote for them. If they, got a track record of doing, what they say they're going to do and things like that, and their policies make sense, and like I said, they align with what I believe in, then I'm going to vote for them. I don't care what letter is in front of your name. I don't care. It's just all about what. I don't align with LGBTQ. I just don't. It doesn't align with my religion. It doesn't align with me as a person, as a man. I don't care about abortion. I love my kids. I didn't want to abort them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't align with me. and that's me. And your opinion is your opinion, and you're entitled to that. But that's what you should focus on. People that are aligned with what you believe in. And the Democratic Party today doesn't align with most people. And they won't admit it because they don't want to lose their job and all of this goofy shit. Like people like Charlemagne. Like Charlemagne acts like, bro, these people, you're not gonna tell me all of them agree with a lot of this stuff that's going on, bro. You're not gonna sit here and tell me they do. But they'll go along with it for the check, for the money. They don't wanna get canceled and all of that stuff. And that's fine, cool. Keep your day job. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, bro, I'm not gonna agree to certain. I just don't. My thing is I just don't have to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna. I don't care enough to talk about it. You know what I mean? I just don't align with that. So I think what she said is dope. It's fire. People over party.
I like that. So you're not agreeing with the Democrat, Republican Party, neither one of them.
I've done it all. I grew up Democrat, then I
Right.
became a Republican, and then I went with RFK, and I'm independent, and I love being independent because it allows me to critique both sides. It allows me to see the good and the bad in both sides, and it also allows me to stay grounded, to realize that I'm in this because of the people, not because of a party.
I like that. Very well said. I can definitely agree with you on that one. Now, before we go further, in your earlier days, it was your godmom who encouraged you to go talk to Donald Trump. Now, many people in our community were very some of us can be a lot closed-minded. We're diehard Democrats. We won't associate with the Republican Party. We probably wouldn't even go meet Donald Trump if we were told to go meet him. So how do you think your life would have changed if you never went to go take your godmom's advice and go meet with him?
Well, for one, I got my total freedom through that, because one of the reasons that we are bound as a people is because we're caught up in this criminal justice system. So it's like, you could go to prison and serve your time, something you did when you was 19, and turn around and you 40 years old and it's still impacting you. So if we ever truly want to be free as a people, we need to make sure that our name is out of their system, and we need to make sure that we're financially literate. So I think my life changed in a lot of ways, because whether people liked it or not, it did give me a platform, and it did show me in another light. I mean, I am somebody from the hood. I went from the prison all the way to the palace. I mean, I grew up right in Summerhill, 306 Ormond Street. So the story in itself is amazing. And when you get a call to go sit down and have a conversation with the president, that's not something that you turn down, regardless if it's Trump or Biden or whoever. I just used my story to make a difference. And he did not only give me a full and unconditional pardon, but he changed the law. He made it illegal for them to chain women to the bed during childbirth. And I think that's something that benefits us all.
I totally agree. Yes. Make some noise. Well said.
This is how much disdain people have now. She said, make some noise. Like, people just don't want to clap for Trump. They feel like they're just like, it's like, yo, TDS is really real, bro. But yo, she gonna say a lot of shit that I really truly fuck with, bro.
Those of y'all who don't know, she is also the founder of the American King Foundation, and she's a criminal justice advocate. So my question to you is, what policy changes do you believe are most urgently needed at the federal level to improve reentry and reduce mass incarceration?
Not just the federal level, but the state level as well. Like, if I've been to prison and I've served my time and I'm free, and all of my fines are paid, and I've paid my debt to society, then why am I still being labeled as a convicted felon?
Facts, bro. Fact. That is if that's one thing that they should change, bro, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Because what's the sense if you taking a sentence, right? You did a crime, they came to the table, you agreed, or you went to trial and lost. Either way, they gave you a set amount of time for this crime that you committed. You go down, you do your time, you serve it, you on probation, parole, you complete it, you pay your fines and everything, like I did. You know what I mean? And you still is labeled as a felon. And that's a problem, because you do all of that time just to come home, and then you still lose out on opportunity. You know what I mean? I lost out on 4 jobs, 4 jobs. I specifically, when I came home, I wanted to get a driver's job. I got my license back, and I did that, and I was excited about that, because having your license is very important. And I went strictly to get a driver's job. I wanted to drive for FedEx or something like that. Not CDLs, just like box trucks or like, the little vans or whatever. And I got hired literally at 4 different jobs. They wanted me. They liked my attitude, everything. Background came back. I didn't get the job. You know what I mean? They was like, yo, if it was up to me, I'll give you the job type of situations. But, so that does, it's like you still locked up in a sense. You know what I mean? It's definitely, that definitely should be changed. I fuck with that.
Be free, because what happens is when they walk around with these labels, then they put you in bars in handcuffs that just can't be seen by the physical eye. It still holds you back. So number one on the list for me is, once a person has completed their sentence and is done, they're done. Like, I should not still have to be labeled a convicted felon 20 years after I've paid my debt to society.
I agree. Clock it. What advice, in your own words, why do you feel like the incarceration rates are so high amongst black men?
We know why. I mean, it's because of the 94 crime bill that was written and passed by Joe Biden, mass incarceration. And then we also know that stereotypes are real and racism is real. Like, usually when you think about black people, you think, unfortunately, and I don't like to say this because I keep us uplifted all the time, but a lot of people, their mindset is when you see black, you think the lowest of the lowest, or sometimes when you see white, that white is supposed to be right, and that's not always the case. So definitely stereotypes and bills that have impacted us because of the color of our skin.
So the 95 crime bill was never reversed.
94 crime bill. It was reversed. It was reversed by President Trump with the passing of the First Step Act. And a lot of people don't know that, and the media does not tell that. But we need to understand that while we are fighting to reunite families at the border, we need to reunite the families in the border.
Facts. But the one thing that she left out that I think is important, like what she said was truthful, and stereotypes, there is racism out there, profiling, but we get profiled because we commit the crimes, and I think it's important to hold us accountable at the same time. All of them things are true. Bills and, even the war on drugs and stuff like that, they were all tools that they put in place to cause mass incarceration. You know what I mean? Because they knew the desperation of blacks needing money and things like that. And plus, the drugs were going to kill the community also. So they was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. They was killing the community, and then they was locking the community up, And then they put the Welfare Act in, which also, told women, if you want this, then you had to get the man out the home. So they put a lot of bills and a lot of things in place to hurt specifically the black community. I'm not ignorant to that. I understand that. But at the same time, today, not 1950, 60, today, a lot of us are signing up for the shit. You know what I mean? Like, niggas are signing up to be bums. Niggas signing up to go to jail. Like, I was one of them guys. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can speak on it. Like, I've been in and out of jail from 19 to 30. In and out, in and out, in and out. Then I did 2 bids. One for five with 85 and another with a 5 with a 1. But they made me max it out. They gave me a hit on parole. Parole gave me a hit. So I did 3.5 years off that one. So, but I was doing all the dumb shit, is what I'm saying. Like, nobody was making me do the dumb shit, And it wasn't until I really, what she's talking about, really realizing that, we signing up for this shit. You know what I mean? We with the culture, we want to get high, drink, we want to get high, pop perks and all of this shit. And we think it's wavy, and all we really doing is putting ourselves in a state of mind to go out here and do all this demonic shit, to be honest with you. And then growing up, we looked up to the D-boy, you looked up to the nigga that was getting money in the hood. The nigga in the hood that was getting money was selling dope. So, even if you come up in a decent household, in the black community, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying, even if you grew up in a decent black neighborhood, right? One of the first things that you do to get money is sell drugs. Even if it ain't hard drugs, most niggas first time getting a little couple of dollars, they was selling their little weed in school or something like that. Like, that's just the mentality. It wasn't, oh, let me get a job. You know what I mean? It wasn't, like I know little young boys that I tell now, like, yo, work. Don't, I mean, they be trying to be into the mix because we think that that's the only way to be cool, to be down, to be in. You know what I mean? With the culture is to sell drugs, to, slide on the ops, gang bang, and all of these different components. Now we just signing up for the dumb shit. And another thing that really made me change was, like, because I'm into history heavy. Like, I'm into the black history, like real black history, not this, what they teach you in school, just about Martin Luther King and a little bit about Malcolm X and stuff. Like, I'm talking about real black history. And, like, we really shit on us today, we really shit on our ancestors who actually got lynched for being black, actually went to prison just for being black, or for protesting and marching and doing them different things. Like, they went to jail not because they was out here committing crimes or doing dumb shit. They went to jail just for being black. They got killed just for being black. And they went through them things so we could have the privileges that we have today. And now, instead of us taking advantage of them opportunities and doing the things we supposed to do, because they lined us up for it, they went through the struggles for us to be where we're supposed to be today. Instead, we with all the dumb shit. All the dumb shit. So when she says what she's saying, I agree with it, right? Because I'm not ignorant to the things that were put in place to hurt us. But at the same time, you also got to put the accountability part in there. Like, we got to take accountability for the dumb shit that we be doing, that we glorify. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would never tell on nobody because I don't know. It's just, unfortunately, bro, just certain things that just stick with you. But I'm not even going to put myself in a situation where I would have to tell on somebody. But the fact that in our culture, we worrying about whether Young Thug is a rat and this nigga is, like, to me, that shit corny. Like, I think we should, like, set the bar way higher than that as far as, like, what we looking up to and what our kids is looking up to. Like, it's a little rant, but I think it was some gems in there.
Our own families.
Why do you feel like people aren't really marketing the good things that Trump has done? Because I didn't even know he reversed that crime bill.
Because it's a political game, because they have to keep us controlled by our emotions. Because if I can control your emotion, then I can control your vote. If I can tell you that Donald Trump is a racist, then, and you believe that, then I can get you to vote for me regardless of what legislation I'm passing or pushing through, whether it benefits you or not. Because, like I said, they're voting for the person and not necessarily the party.
Mm. Well
That's a
said.
fact, bro.
I want to change gears
That's
a little
a
bit and
big
talk about
fact.
your time working under Robert F. Kennedy. Talk about your day-to-day duties with him as his advisor, right?
Yeah, not only advising him on certain issues, but helping to schedule some of his visits, doing some of his PR, helping to write some of his policies. More Choices, More Life was a policy that I was heavily involved in. Also making sure that not only he was educated, but that he went and got the information and educated me on what's happening with the maternal health crisis, making sure that that's something that they take up at the HHS. So for me, my life has been nothing short of amazing, to be able to have access to not only the King family, but the Trump family and the Kennedy family. Regardless of how people feel about them, those are three legacies, and all the work that I've done with each one of those people has been to better our community.
And do you still work for Robert F. Kennedy today?
I work directly with Robert F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy has become kind of like my dad. I'm one of those kids he's just took up under his wing, and we developed a very personal relationship because he's worked most of his career, if you look up Robert F. Kennedy and who he is, has been spent on exposing medical apartheid and what they have done to our community, through medical practices. So this is something that's very dear to his heart. And I was somebody that ran his black engagement. He know how serious I am about the community, and I just love who he is. I love his family. I'm connected to his family, to the Trump family, to the King family. To know me is to love me, and regardless of what people say in the media, they are interested and invested in helping our communities get better.
And speaking of, very well said, speaking of the media, I watched a past interview that you did with Roland Martin where you guys were debating a commercial ad during the Trump campaign. So my question to you is, I feel like you guys got into a debate about the ad that you guys were talking about, but in your words, what is a good network or reputable source for media news that you know is giving 100% facts?
I wish I could give them one.
Word
I mean,
up.
you got to get online
None
now
of
and do
them.
your own research. Like, you really can't believe. And I wouldn't advise you to believe anything that anybody says. Now, I'm a real one. I'll tell you the truth. But guess what? You still need to go research for yourself, because what happens is a lot of times media personalities or even the news, they're going to take a clip of something and then give you their narrative based off of that clip, versus you going and watching the whole entire thing yourself to see what was said before, what was said after. So the best source of news is your own personal research. We're just in a day and age where people can say and do anything and put anything on social media without it even fact checking. So you guys have to do your own research.
I love it. Let's dive into the babies and Planned Parenthood, something you're very, very big on. First, what are your personal hopes for the Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.?
What's a Planned Parenthood mother?
Well, not a Planned Parenthood mother. Like, what's your thoughts?
Yo, you see the way she look, like, what? Like, what you talking about? She gonna get heavy on this one.
For both Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, if you know who Angela Stanton is, this is not going to shock you. But if you don't know who Angela Stanton King is, I want every Planned Parenthood across the nation closed down. Because when you think about their strategic placement, 80% of their clinics are in our communities. And I ask people all the time, if abortion is such a good thing for the black community, then why they don't have any abortion clinics at the border? Why they don't have any abortion clinics in white wealthy communities, right? It's population control. And it goes beyond just abortion. It's what they're doing with the remains of the babies afterwards. Like, it's a sick, twisted thing. It was legalized. It was a way to keep our numbers down. Since abortion was legalized in 1973, we've remained at 13% of the population. We have not grown. And we can never be the majority if we are the minority. And it's just a message that I'm never going to stop preaching, because like most of us my age, we were raised with abortion being legal. So a lot of us don't see nothing wrong with it because it's just been legal. It's been a part of life. But at one point, slavery was legal too. So when you begin to break down Planned Parenthood, the founder, who Margaret Sanger was, what their intention was to basically eradicate the black community. They wanted to get rid of us.
Right.
And that's why we don't see the KKK no more, right? They don't have to show up to our door in hoods anymore, because they've convinced us to terminate life before it even begins.
I got some facts. I got some research I pulled up, and I want to get your thoughts on this. According to the NCRC, the black wealth gap in the U.S. is substantial and persistent. In terms of average wealth in 2022, the average wealth for white households was $1.5 million compared to $352,000 million for black households. 40% of black mothers were single compared to only 14% of white mothers. So would it be safe to explore that abortions are not the main issue, and that fathers and black men in the household would aid with both the income gap and, the black community rising up?
First of all, before she give her little spill on that, the income gap conversation is weak, because women don't want to do the hard jobs that men do. And that's one of the main reasons. And another reason is women are more agreeable. Men aren't. If we feel as though that we're not getting paid our just due, we're gonna leave for a better position, or we're gonna demand that we get paid a certain amount of money, or a promotion, or whatever the case may be. Women are 9 times out of 10 cool with what they get. It's just a biological thing in that sense too. But also, the main thing is they don't want to do the jobs, the hard jobs that women take up mostly. I'm not saying easy jobs, 'cause I'm not saying every job that a woman does is easy. I'm just saying they do more desk work, teachers, CNA, nurses, things like that. Doctors, that's like a hard job. But they're not welding ships and going on building skyscrapers and buildings and things like. They're not doing a hard job. That's why the pay gap is the way it is. Another thing that she said was um men not being in the home. Women gave up men being in the home in the 70s for welfare. That was literally the outcome of the Welfare Act. Was we'll give you welfare, we'll help you, we'll pay your bills, we'll give you food, just enough to survive, and you can't have a man in the home. So women did that. And so at the end of the day, they could blame men. And I'm not sitting there saying you can't hold men today accountable, but what I'm saying is the start of that, because families were together back in the day, and they were much larger. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. Now all of that is gone because they gave up the man being in the home. Nowadays it's just out of control. To be honest with you, the whole dating scene and everything is just out of control. A lot of women nowadays get married for the benefits. They hoping to marry a rich nigga and divorce him in a year or two and get a check. Everything is based off checks and shit.
I mean, I'm gonna put the blame on all things. We need to touch every issue if we really want to be about, that saying Black Lives Matter. We could torch it over to the black men and we can blame them. But at the end of the day, you can't get black life without a black man, right? I've said this before. Take Kimora Lee Simmons as example. Kimora Lee Simmons got 4 kids, right? I think one of them white, one of them Mexican, I don't know. One of them might be Italian, one of them might be black. You can't get black life as a black woman. Yeah, we black, but you came from a black man, right? Black life comes from a black man. So we can't throw the black man away, abort the black baby, transition our sons, and then think that we saving black life. That ain't how that works.
Right, I'm not here to argue with you. I am definitely in support of everything you're saying, and I feel like we can't just rely on Angela to fight the good fight for all of us. If you're going to be on the forefront for babies and the black community and keeping our children, then we need another Angela on the forefront for the incarceration. We need another Angela on the forefront for black men being at home. But I'm just trying to understand where you're going with the situation about abortions, when I feel like that's like a bigger problem, though, because abortions is a big deal, but we really need black men at home.
Bro, abortion shouldn't be a big deal, though. And it wouldn't be a big deal if y'all taught responsibility, not taught, but preach responsibility over you can just get a plan B or you can get an abortion. Like, they make getting an abortion like it's just like, I don't know, eating breakfast or something. Like, just get an abortion. Like, bro, look up the process of abortion. It's a cruel situation, bro. It's just inhumane, bro. It should be illegal, to be honest with you. But they'll always forever bring up, the exceptions, the things that happen, but rarely. They're going to always bring them up. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of us nowadays are just being irresponsible. And that's just the gist of it. Like, you can literally, they literally, the same way they have abortion and they use that so-called, I won't even say technology to abort a baby, they have plenty of different options for you to be on birth control. They got condoms. They got so many different ways for you to be safe. So you should not get pregnant because they have all the technology for you not to get pregnant. But they're choosing to, just let niggas run all up in them, all crazy. Because understand, bro, women control access to sex. Unless the exception. But women control access to sex. If a woman says yes, you're getting the sex. If she says no, you're not getting the sex. So sex doesn't happen without a woman agreeing to have sex. So they can put all the blame they want on men, but ultimately it falls on you because this doesn't even happen without you. And you can easily tell a man, no, you don't got a condom, or no, we want to do another song. But they don't. They do the irresponsible thing. Let a nigga don't even tell the nigga to pull out. Nah, nothing me. Now you getting pregnant at, oh, man, it's so out of control.
With these wives.
So out
Well,
of
you
control.
can't get black men if you gonna abort him. He gotta be born first, and then after he born, he gotta remain a black man. You can't transition him. You can't chemically castrate him, right? We have a job to do. We birth black men, right? So if we want black men back in the home, if we have to begin to respect, if we want to restore the value of black life, it begins in the womb. We all have to do our part. Like, this ain't a part where we can toss the ball. Like, we gotta come together and make this shit happen. And we all need each other. We need the mama, we need the daddy, and we need the babies. Because guess what? We ain't gonna live forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 20, 30 years from now, I may not be able to sit on this stage, but guess what? I brought 5 lives into this world to carry the torch. We have a responsibility to reproduce, to protect, to maintain, to preserve black life.
I love it. 100% love it. I love it. I love it. So before we leave off that subject, now with the amount of mothers who are raising children, how can we fix that area where they're going to have these babies like without men with them?
Well, that's why, and listen, a lot of people tell you, they'll say, oh, well, you don't need to bring the baby into the world if you a single mama, or if the daddy ain't gonna be there, but you could have the baby and be married and the daddy get in a car wreck and die the same day, right? Or you could be with the daddy and he could die the next day, right? We have a responsibility as women to love and protect our children. And I've been that single mom. I mean, getting out of prison with nothing, having to scrape 2 nickels together, 5 children to raise. Nothing has been more rewarding than raising those children and giving them life. So what we have to do when it comes to supporting black women is create organizations like the one I created, Auntie Angie's House, right? And I want an Auntie Angie's House everywhere there's a Planned Parenthood, because the question is, in our community, are you really giving them a choice if Planned Parenthood is the only place that they have to go? What if she want to keep the baby? Yep. Why can't we have a center across the street where she can go there and we can help her until she get on her feet? Because yep. I've saved, to this day, 94 babies just through my advocacy. This is just giving these women support. And they weren't bums, like they just needed help for a little bit. Sometimes you 9 months pregnant, maybe you can't work. Right. Maybe the baby daddy did leave. Well, that's what it means when it takes a village, right? Our first option shouldn't be to execute our children. We're the aunties, we're the cousins, we're the uncles. Like, thanks. When are we gonna bring this thing back together and understand that if we want to restore black life, save black life, preserve black life, it's on us. Like, politics, I use that as a tool, but politics has never helped me in anything that I've really done successfully for my community. Like, we don't need politics to fix our community. We can do it ourselves.
Facts, man. We're gonna end it with that, man. They had a little bit more than they was talking about. If you want to go check it out, you can go check out Live with Carisha. That was a dope ass interview. She's dope. She's doing some dope things, and she just was just keeping it real, bro. Just simple, And she touched on a lot of topics that I care about, because it's important, bro. Because they be lying, and it all goes back to politics in a sense, because they're the ones that's pushing these narratives. Like, literally, the whole 2024 election, that was one of the main things that Democrats pushed, was reproductive health. They're trying to take your right to, your body, your choice, or whatever they were saying. It's all manipulation. It's all demonic. And they were manipulating people, had them out there in the streets with their little signs, all their little paid protesters and shit. But they don't tell you that the black community is the ones that abort the most babies. So that was the goal. Like, that was the goal, when it all started. And it's like, yo, bro, how could you go along with a thing that literally was made to extinct you? That's my thing. But more importantly, like, bro, I just got a soul, bro. I just, I just like when I had my oldest son, 15. I had him when I was 20. I had him when I was 20. I definitely wasn't ready to be no dad. I was still ripping and running. But I didn't even think about an abortion. Like that wasn't even on my mind. It was like, damn, I fucked up. And I had to deal with it. And now I got a 15-year-old son. And listen, all I'm saying is this. That shouldn't be your first option at all. It shouldn't be an option. Now, the whole exceptions things, I can understand that. Like, I can understand it. Like, I get it. But as far as just willy-nilly just getting abortions just for the sake of getting them, because you just had a drunk night or you had an irresponsible night, even though you were irresponsible every single time you did it, like, it's crazy to me. And what it does to your body is even more crazier. Like, bro, that stuff is sick, bro. It's sick. And it's a whole dark market, too, that's attached to it. Bro, they be doing abortions and they had a guy, damn, Trump talked about it. Trump actually brought this up. I forget the guy's name. I should look it up. He, I forget which state it was in. But basically the baby, they tried to abort the baby, but the baby was still born. The baby was alive and well. And they literally, I gotta look this up, man, because I don't want to say it wrong. It was crazy though. Like I forget, I'm trying to figure out who it was. Damn. They had a whole video. I think he was on a radio station. Oh, man. Damn. But anyway, he basically said that if a baby was born, like there's babies that actually still are born. They don't, the process doesn't, the procedure didn't work, and they still are born. And they're talking about just putting the baby to the side, just letting the baby die. Like sick demonic shit, bro. I don't care how you try to slice it, bro. And then on top of that, bro, you literally have uh, um all of these alternatives. You got family that might take the baby. That's like your first line of like, I don't want the baby. Isn't can any family take the baby? I'm pretty sure you have somebody in the family that'll take the baby. And then if that doesn't work, then you got adoption agencies who will take the baby and they will take care of the baby, and there's gonna be a family that will love that can't have kids and things like that. That take There's so many options, bro, on the table. So to choose abortion is wild to me. You know what I mean? But I don't want to make this about abortion. But she was saying a lot of dope stuff in that video. Shout out to Angela Stanton. She doing some dope shit. She helping women. She helping women. She saving lives. She saving children. I think that's super dope. Super dope. But yeah, man, the Democrats is out of control, bro, and they gotta be stopped. They gotta be stopped. And that's why I hope Trump kills the filibuster too, because that's really gonna kill their shit. I want it to happen. But this politics shit, man, stop. People got to really stop being slaves to this politics shit, though. Like for real, it's like out of hand. Like we're coming to a point where people are damn near like about to kill you if you fucking if you a Republican. Like just think about that. Like they put so much hate in people's heart where like they genuinely hate you. They don't even know you. Like, you don't even know me. How you hate me? You hate me because I voted for Trump? They tripping. But anyway, man, that was the show for today, man. If you think the show was dope, hit that like button, hit that share button. Also comment down below if you agree, disagree, whatever, man. If you just want to chat, also hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time your boy drop a dope live video. Hit that notification bell too so you get notified every time your boy go live. This your boy SL550. This is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Until next time, I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.